Hello and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Cathryn Freddie.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. What's up?
And this is episode 96, baby.
96.
96. Instinctively, I feel was a very good year for music. I just want to say that out loud. I just feel in my bones 96. Oh, good year for music, you know?
I mean, it's got to be.
I just feel like it is. It's got to be.
I'm
You
sure.
know, the mid 90s, I get certain things mixed up, you know, but I feel like it was a good year. You know, like 84, great year for music.
Yeah, I'm not good enough. I do love music, but I'm not good enough to just rifle off like who is what. But just because we're starting with a little tangent here.
Yeah.
Before we get to basketball, you are very correct. You ready for just a quick top 10?
Yes.
The Score, Fugees, All Eyes on Me, Tupac, Odelay,
yes.
Beck, Enema, Tool, Sublime, Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z, Introducing DJ Shadow, Yourself or Someone Like You, Matchbox 20,
Wow.
Pinkerton, Weezer, Aliens, Outcast. So,
Outcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
So massive year.
I also Googled this. I don't know if it's a top 10, but it's just other really big songs. It's All Coming Back to Me Now, Celine Dion.
Huge.
Just my favorite Celine Dion song. Also Because You Loved Me, possibly my second favorite Celine Dion song.
Celine.
Oh my God. Remember Nobody Knows by Tony Rich, the Tony Rich Project?
No, I don't.
Do you remember I Love You Always Forever? That I love you always
I
forever.
do. Is that them?
Yeah. No, that's somebody else.
Oh.
But anyway, good
Tony
times.
Tony Rich, what a name. Also, deeper down the list.
Aging Myself.
Spice Girls
came out in 96.
So huge
What Spice Girl were you?
I think I was Scary or Sporty.
Did you just identify with Scary or Sporty Spice, or did you no, that's the Spice Girl I have a crush on?
Well, as a 10-year-old boy, I will just say immediately it was Jerry.
Yeah.
I was like, Jerry's the hot one.
Yeah, Jerry was,
the end. I was like, Jerry's really hot, Scary's really hot.
Yeah.
That was basically like my vibe as a 10-year-old.
I was Scary Spice because I love Mel B. And I've talked about this on this podcast before. My love for leopard print. Hello. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Also, my hair's all in a bun, but I have curly hair and I loved her hair. And my friend Chantel, shout out to Chantel. We were both Scary Spice. We're like, screw this. We don't need a Jerry. There's no redheads in our group. Doesn't matter. Everyone fits in. Everyone belongs. You could have multiple Scaries, multiple Sporties, whatever.
All Scaries, no Jerrys. That's
all Scaries, no Jerrys is who we were. Yeah.
By the way, if you're tuning into this podcast for the first time or the last time or whatever, at the Pickup Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. There's a 1050 at the end of the YouTube, but it's great. Follow us, subscribe, comment. We love you.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. WNBA action. First, we just got to talk about Angel Reese.
Yeah.
And this season ending wrist injury really, really sucks. She has had such a phenomenal rookie season, and coming up later in the pod, we're going to talk a little more about Caitlin Clark and all-time rookie seasons and things like that. But Angel Reese has had one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks that it's ending in injury like this, but it's, I don't know. Shout out to Angel Reese, man. What a year. Hope she, gets well soon, and we, I'm sure we'll see her in action come next season, but I'm curious to see if she does anything between now and then in other leagues or something, but I don't think so. I think she'll just stay in America, but
Yeah, that's actually interesting you bring that up, because I feel like, she wrote this big message on Twitter It's funny she wrote like I never would have thought my last made bucket would be a 3, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Talked about being like a cheerleader on the sidelines, because Chicago's like very much still in this hunt, right? So like,
Mm.
uh, it must be a serious wrist injury because that's also ruling out the playoffs, right? So they did the Sky, I think, can check later, but I would guess somewhere around 5, 6, 7 games left. So yeah, that's like a pretty like whatever happened to her wrist is like I didn't hear like that it was broken, but it's probably like pretty substantial. But let me just stat. This is from Stat Mamba on Twitter. So Angel Reese final rookie season stats: 13.6 points per game, 13.1 rebounds per game, and 1.9 assists per game. Most rebounds in a season in WNBA history.
Damn.
Highest rebounding average in a single season. Most consecutive double doubles. Just obviously
Unreal.
her and Caitlin are forever linked, and it's so like absolutely poetic that they have both had just absolutely historic seasons. Like I can't remember anything in sports. I mean, I'm sure I could like dig deep, but I can't remember the hype being met to such a degree. Maybe with
Oh,
teams, right? Like, let's say like last year, like the Aces and the Liberty, right? Like that, the hype was met. But players, 2 players coming
especially
in,
rookies. Yeah.
especially rookies, it often happens in leagues where the number one overall is that person. But for I still go back to me and you saying like just being absolutely confused as to why Angel was drafted 7th overall. A
Yeah.
lot of smart WNBA people were like,
You can rewind that. You could check
yeah,
that if you want. Yeah,
like this
seventh
and that
overall.
and all these different reasons. And me and you were just like, I just don't get it. Like she's
And
a
she was being projected as that for a while. And even when we
yeah,
were looking at the draft predictions, we were like, why is Angel Reese so low? Um,
didn't make sense.
yeah.
But yeah,
It would be so, you know what, Freddie, during the off season, we should revisit that draft.
we should do a redraft.
Yeah, I think that would be a really fun thing for us to do in the off season because it's a historic draft. It's been a historic rookie WNBA season, and yeah, it would be so interesting to look at that again.
Yeah, and I think you have to not forget about how good Cameron Brink was in her very, very short
Absolutely.
season.
Yeah.
But for me, it's spoiler, it would be Caitlin 1, Angel 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No offense to Cameron Brink. But yeah, I think like it's wild to me to even
No,
think
she would still be
otherwise.
high, but I mean like somebody like Kate Martin was drafted, I don't even remember now, somewhere in the teens.
Mhm.
And she's had a good enough rookie year that there's an argument for her to have been in the top 10 now, I
Mhm.
feel. So lots there. But anyway, Angel Reese, we're gonna miss you on the court. Get well soon.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
uh I forgot to mention this when you said, like where's she gonna go? She's been very public. She's been a very public promoter of Unrivaled. So
Oh, amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked about it. Like it's also like, man, Unrivaled's being set up in a very, there's a lot of momentum going in because like obviously Stewie is that like the fact that Stewie is like, this is like my league, and Collier, it's her league too, right? They're doing it together, and Collier having the season that she's having, like obviously it's Asia's MVP year, but there was a world in which, say, like something, whatever, Asia was like let's say like injured or something in the um like early part of the season, and like it was the thing where like she didn't have enough games, there would be a world where this Unrivaled league was being headed by back-to-back MVPs,
Mm,
because I think a lot of people have Collier as number 2, and
hmm.
it's a very distant number 2. It's like the MVP conversation has been
Yeah,
over
it's
for
a unanimous. Yeah,
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 for a long
yeah.
time. But But anyways, yeah. So she's like, I'll be at Unrivaled, and yeah, for Angel to also be this like public about it, like she's bringing her whole brand over, right? So Unrivaled, I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be a very interesting
Yeah,
offseason.
I'm so excited for it
I mean, I
too.
don't want
I
to skip past the playoffs, but
No. We are going to talk about well, we kind of touched on two subjects right now. We touched on the playoff picture, and we also touched on the rookie class.
mhm.
So, Freddie, do you want to talk about Caitlin Clark next, or do you want to? How do you want to do it?
uh, let's let's talk about the playoff picture.
Okay, perfect. So, we're gonna do a bigger playoff preview next week, also because it's not finalized just yet.
Mhm.
But looking at the playoff picture as it stands right now, who are you really excited to see face off against one another?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of like the of the four choices here. I think there's all but one. For me, there's like three correct answers, right? Um, and I'm gonna have to go with. It's sort of tight. I wonder if you're gonna pick the other one, but I am gonna go with Sun Fever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just the manner in which Caitlyn seems to like be getting better every single game, and how incredible the Sun are. It's just I think if the Fever were say playing the Liberty, it would be like, oh man, this is going to be exciting, but like the Liberty are just going to like kind of like really kill it, and like I
Mm,
definitely think that the Sun are the better team. I'll have to really parse through, but I think they will win the series. But
yeah.
it's just the Fever have been winning. The Fever just beat the Sun, and I think the Fever just have so much momentum, and um, Mitchell and Boston um and and Calrk have just been on fire, and I'm really excited to like, and just the media frenzy around that series is going to be insane
Oh
because
yeah.
obviously it's the Caitlin Clark machine, right? Like so much of the all of the conversation around this sport right now is about Caitlin, and obviously it's lots of it's divisive and blah blah blah. We've talked about that so much, but I think just as a fan, there's not going to be an empty seat in either of those buildings.
Mm-hmm,
They're going to
mm-hmm.
be national games. They're going to be like headline games. Whether Caitlin like shows up or doesn't show up, whether there's like a hard Alyssa Thomas foul, whatever the fuck, it's gonna be awesome. Like it's gonna be really exciting.
Um, yeah, they faced off earlier this week. I don't know if you were able to catch that or not, but
It was. It was a
yeah,
great game.
it was a great game. The Fever made like a pretty solid run in this game, but I do feel the Sun they controlled the entire game.
Hmm.
Even as things got close, and I feel like from a narrative perspective, I will say I'm looking forward if these two teams end up matching up.
Oh, did I
Because
say the Fever won? Sorry, they didn't. My bad. I think I said that earlier. Sorry, interrupted.
no, all good. I didn't recall you saying that, but no, the Sun won that game regardless.
Yeah.
And I just feel like from a narrative perspective, what I think will be interesting to see is, the Caitlin Clark machine and the casuals, because there's casuals beyond that. We'll see,
Uh-huh.
wow, like this team, the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, they're so great. But wow, the Connecticut Sun, one of the most underrated teams in the league, right? Like they're so good, but it's always like the Liberty and the Aces, and they seem to get all the attention. People are going to see the Connecticut Sun. People are going to see Alyssa Thomas and Dewana Bonner and like Dejanay Carrington and Courtney Williams, and I'm like, that's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah,
You know what I
Mabry
mean?
Jones, like like the
Yes,
Sun are
yeah.
for real.
Like I'm excited for the Caitlin Clark Mafia to see the Connecticut Sun. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
excited for the casuals to see the Connecticut Sun because they deserve a spotlight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I
100%.
think that's going to be really exciting to see
I think so too, and
if it ends up being them.
yes, and I'm really happy that when we first started covering, started podcasting about the W, it was still like a knockout game format,
Mhm.
and I'm really happy that's not the case
Oh
anymore.
god, that was
And
brutal.
honestly, I'm like very pro expanding the playoff series because the first series will be a best 2 out of 3, and like, man, like I honestly want all of the series because it's like
Yo, whoever
there's only 3 rounds. Do best out of 7. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Yeah,
but
I don't know. The 1 versus 8 seed is going to be a real snooze fest. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
it will.
Whether it's the Sky or the Atlanta Dream, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Wait. So who's your team?
I mean, that's the series I have my eye on.
Yeah,
I mean, like right now in the 4 and 5 seed, it's the Aces and the Storm.
that was my
That'll
other series.
that's going to be fun, but I don't think they're going to beat the Aces.
I don't. And the Acers are also like, we talked about this too. They look like that team who's like, all right, let's crack our backs. And like Chelsea Gray is like starting to hum. And
Yes, yes.
yeah, so I think
Well,
I,
Asia
I wouldn't
Wilson
want to play the
she was
Aces.
out today. Asia Wilson, she was
Yeah.
out today with a foot injury, but I don't think she's going to be out for a long. Like they didn't say that she's projected to be out for a long time. Hopefully not. That'd be brutal. But yeah, like I don't see the Aces losing a series against the Storm. I mean, best 2 out of 3. I'd be shocked if the Storm got a game, honestly. I think that it'll be close. I think it'll be really fun, but
You think
I'm not predicting that.
you think Asia's dodging Stewie?
No, never.
No.
Never. There's
Uh,
also there's like an online, they're called Stuja, the
oh,
Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart love, because they're like friends and they really get along and people like love seeing them together. And I think they call them Stuja or something like that.
that's good stuff.
Um yeah, look, the minute like the Phoenix Mercury, who I have claimed as my team, and I do love them, but I don't like they've been so frustrating this year. And I've talked about this on the podcast before that they're so much better on paper than what has transpired on the court. If the playoffs started today, they would face the Lynx. That's not happening. Like they're not upsetting the Lynx. It's not happening.
The Lynx are
They could get
really,
a
really.
game. They could get a game, but no, they're not going to upset the Lynx.
I don't think so either. I think the Lynx are really they've proven that they're very, very legit. And like, I think like for me, obviously the Liberty, right? But then, the Lynx, the Sun, and Aces are the other contenders.
Mm.
And I don't think any of the other teams are actual contenders, but I do think that like Seattle, Indiana, and Phoenix are all good teams that aren't going to be like a pushover. Like, I agree with you. I think the Lynx are probably going to handle them, but there is a lot of talent on the Mercury,
Mhm.
and I mean, the fact that like I am excited, I'll be really excited to see Griner and Tarasi in a playoff series as well, right? So,
Cuz it's been
uh,
a minute. Yeah.
yeah, and there's sort of that like there might be some like do it for Diana territory. I think I'm excited to see
Well,
Copper
and
back
with
in the playoffs,
Cleopatra,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I would really like them to live up to their individual talent. I don't even remember their coach's name, but I've been so disappointed and annoyed all season long. I feel like that coach is gone. I think they're going to fire their coach again. And it made me think about Sandy Brondello
mhm.
with the Liberty, who was with the
Nate
Mercury before.
Tibbetts.
Tibbetts, yeah, whatever. And like it just makes me appreciate Sandy Brondello as a coach more. That like the Mercury have, obviously they had a terrible year with like Brittany Griner out, and then their drama with Skylar Diggins Smith. But even now, where they all seem like kumbaya and they get along, and they have arguably more talent, they haven't figured it out. So I feel like it just makes Sandy Brondello look even better.
Sandy Brondello.
That was very British.
It was. I fucked up.
I cannot do an Australian accent. I can do a British accent pretty well as far as fake British accents go, but I cannot.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, listen. If we have any Australian listeners,
we do,
stay.
and I'm sorry.
Yeah, please stay.
We do, and listen, we're Canadian. Please rip us apart. We're like,
yeah, you can make fun of our accent.
People Canadians. Everyone, we make fun of each other because it's we're kind of a joke of a place, so it's all good.
I also don't know how to do a stereotypical Canadian accent particularly well.
I mean, because you're doing it probably. It's like the oot and the boot.
Yeah, but I don't really sound like that.
See, you think you don't? Then you go somewhere different, and they're like, say, they'll give you a word or whatever. So like, I say, wait, now I'm forgetting how I say it. Is it, do I say Mario or no? I say Mario.
That's
like as
weird,
in like
though.
Mario and Luigi, and people are like, in the States are like, it's Mario, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so fucking sorry.
No, that's a you thing though.
Is that a me thing?
Yeah, okay, I say Mario.
Well, you want to know what kills me is my in-laws. They're not South Carolinian, but they've lived there a long time. And my father-in-law says rough for like roof.
Oh, that's just weird.
And he's like I've heard people think that Canadians say like rough, like as in like the way you're just light on the O's, and he says rough. So I'm like, what's going on? Who says rough? Who's calling the roof a dog? Who's you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, Sandy Brondello, shout out.
All right. Should we move on?
Let's do it.
Okay, so last week we were talking a bit about Caitlin Clark's historical rookie season, and I was saying her and Angel Reese are probably the best like rookie duo we've ever seen.
Definitely, gotta be.
But Caitlin Clark, who I think she's probably going to be a runaway rookie of the year at this point, especially now with Reese's injury.
Yes, yeah.
But we wanted to see, okay, how does her rookie season stack up against other rookie greats? Yeah. I don't know if you want to take it from here or.
Yeah, sure. So this is it's a really good article, and I think this is something that it's coming up a lot, right? Because people, we talked about the Caitlin Clark Mafia, and then I think you also have to talk about like the response to that, which is the Caitlin Clark haters, which we've talked about endlessly. It's been a big theme of this season, of the divisiveness and all that. But I'm more interested. I think you're more interested in actually figuring out, actually trying to place her, because she is fantastic. She is great, and that's just more interesting conversation for me. So the Sporting News article by Stephen No talks about like some of the greatest rookie seasons of all time, and he kind of gets into the nitty gritty, and it's awesome. So like he doesn't rank them, but he just sort of is going through like some of the big stats, big criteria. So it's Caitlin Clark, Tamika Catchings, Candace Parker, Elena Deladon, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of the things that are really like, wow, she needs to be in this conversation is total assists. So she set the record. She set the record for
You're sounding like your father-in-law now.
Yeah, I know. She set the rough. So she's at 286 assists, and Tika Panichero got 225. And I'm sure that season was shorter, so all that kind of stuff. But she has the highest assist average. She leads in threes, and if there anyone out there who's like, what about her turnovers? Yes, she
Does
does.
she, sorry, does she lead rookies or lead the league?
Lead the league.
Okay, thank
So
you.
she has the most threes in the W.
Okay.
And she also has the highest true shooting percentage. So the highest, she's the highest volume scorer for rookies. So she doesn't have the highest point average. That belongs to Simone Augustus with almost 22 points a game, who's not even on this list. But yeah, this guy, he did his research. It's a really good article. Check it out. And yeah, where do you feel like, I know you've sort of, there's a lot of ways to like rank like how you think a player is good, but do you want me to kind of like jump in and give you my like what I think, or do you want to jump in?
Yeah, you could go for it.
Yeah, so I think he concludes in this article that it's just there's still a significant distance from Candace Parker, right? So like the points are very comparable. Candace has a huge rebound lead, and Caitlin has a huge assist lead. They're basically tied in steals. Candace, gigantic blocks lead, gigantic field goal percentage lead, gigantic 3-point percentage lead. Obviously, the volume there. And then her field goal percentage is also better by only marginal. And then I think this is where, when you focus on offensive stats too much, you kind of get lost in like the overall impact of the game. Candace came into the league playing like serious defense. So that's a whole other side of the game that and then obviously there's the big caveat of, not caveat, but the big sort of thing that Caitlin won't be able to achieve, which is that Candace won the MVP. So
in her rookie season.
In her rookie season. So it's like, it's an untouchable rookie season. And then the other one that I have is Breanna Stewart. So I think it's really tight, but at this point, I still have Stewie ahead of Caitlin for all-time rookie seasons. She also transformed her rookie team. I think perhaps like had less help than Caitlin.
Was her rookie team the Storm?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What are the stats that are having you conclude that?
So she is 18 points a game, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and has a true shooting percentage of 57.6.
God, that is incredible.
So it's like, it's similar to, it's a similar argument to Candace, which is that there's a rebound assist trade-off, and that Stewie was nasty on D. So just like as far as like an overall impact on the game, I think, as crazy as it is to say, Caitlin's better on offense than both those players as rookies, which is like huge, right? That's really substantial. But defense matters, and it's a full. And for anyone who's
and to be that good on the defensive end as a rookie is really special.
Yeah. So I don't feel like I'm being harsh on Caitlin in that sense. Like we're comparing her to like all timers. So
yeah, but you're literally saying she is arguably top 3 greatest rookies of WNBA history.
Yeah. And like, I don't think there's an argument for her being the greatest rookie of all time, but I think there's definitely an argument for her being like the second greatest rookie.
Yeah. Second or third. Unreal. I mean, I've loved watching her all season. Like I said, I think it's extraordinary that we just get to see all this unfold in real time. And I am really looking forward to her in the playoffs, even though I don't necessarily think the Fever are going to win. I mean, we've seen her in high pressure games, and she's all business, right? And she has that. It's an overused thing to say, but the whole Mamba mentality thing, I do think that really does apply to her. Like she does have that. So, yeah. Awesome stuff. Thank you, Freddie, for that. Thank you for finding that article.
Yeah.
Very informative. Really helped us kind of unlock a mystery that we were talking about last week.
Building a mystery.
Wow, Sarah McLachlan
Yeah,
reference.
Sarah McLachlan, 1996.
That might have been 97. Oh, that could be 96.
Okay,
Oh my god. Now we have to
okay.
look it up.
I'm
We have
gonna
to
look
look
it
it
up
up. Building
while
a
you go to the next
Mystery.
question.
Sarah McLachlan. It could be 96 actually. That is so wild.
I'm gonna guess it's 2001. Just a
Building a
wild.
mystery? No. Your Price is Right rules, you're over.
Uh, but, oh my god, 1997. Is that what you said?
No, I said 96.
Oh.
It is 97. But Price is Right rules, I win.
Yes.
Okay. It is time for our badass player of the week. Freddie, who you got?
Okay, so sometimes I'm a little bit cutesy with this sort of thing. But I think that I had to go. I had to go with Asia Wilson.
Okay.
Because it's a bit of a we don't do it sometimes, and we just sort of she's always we kind of just give her that, like, throw her that bone.
Yeah, she's
I s-
had an insane week though.
yeah, she's had a ludicrous week. So 29 points, 14 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 3 blocks, undefeated. So, like, silly, absolutely silly week for Asia Wilson.
I'm glad you picked her because I went with a very, very cutesy pick that was solely based on today's game. We're recording this on Sunday, the 8th. This is like ridiculous of me. I love
it. I'm already.
But I had to go with it, and I went with Sydney Colson because
nice.
This is the cutesiest pick of all time. Listen, Asia Wilson was out today. It was against the Liberty. If you didn't, it was a phenomenal game. It was an awesome game. Sydney Colson in only 9 minutes. Okay. And I'm pretty sure all of that was in the second half. In only 9 minutes, she got 8 points. Okay. 2 steals. She got a rebound. She hit both her free throws and was a +6 on the floor. Freddie, she had one of the best makes and one of the most hilarious misses in a tight game I've ever seen. But she had a hook shot, like a fucking hook shot that she banked in the fourth quarter. It was unreal. The way she energized the Aces to be close in this game was just unreal. And I just feel like, man, if this girl was, I hate to say it, but a part of me was like, man, if she were on a different team, we would get to see so much more of her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was just a ball of energy to inject 8 points into your team in 9 minutes in a close game versus your rival. I mean, come on. It was awesome. She did have like a pretty bad air ball at one point, but it was early enough in the fourth that it didn't like necessarily make or break it. Kelsey Plum also had a really bad air ball in the last minute of that game. But anyway, really, really great stuff from Sydney Colson. And I hope we get to see more of her on the court.
Yeah, and I hope that she, even if she's on the court more, she keeps it coming with the tweets, because
regardless, we need it.
She's like she's in like legend territory with her tweets.
Yeah. I would say for how little she plays, she really is one of the more popular WNBA players. But it was an opportunity to talk about what she did on the court, and so I wanted to seize that moment.
Yeah. Shout out.
Okay, Freddie, fun question time.
That's okay. That's good. Good for us.
Don't mock me.
So I love the playoffs for trying out new shit, and I'm talking about the broadcast. And I feel like there's always this thing that happens in a lot of sports where they use the playoffs to show off like a new technology, a new camera, whatever it is. And I know they're gonna do something like last year they did the tunnel talks with Holly Rowe
Oh
where
God, the
we were
walking and talking.
terrified that Holly was gonna like walk into a pole. And also it's like anyone who's like worked in film or like worked on a broadcast or whatever, you know, like I was also like terrified for the camera operator because they were walking back like fast and like I don't know, just like there was
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah.
it's not easy, and there was danger. There was danger. Yeah. So my question to you and myself, Catherine, is what do you want to see for these playoff broadcasts? Whether it's like a failure or like something actually cool.
I love this question. Also, shout out to Holly Rowe. She really is
Shout out
one
to
of the
Holly Rowe.
best at what she does. Truly, I really love seeing her on the broadcast. But okay, so today again, this also happened at the Liberty Aces game. You know, a lot of celebrities, including both Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, at the game.
Together?
And no, they weren't sitting together. And
Scandal.
it was freaking me out the whole time. But like, you know, they there was a clip of them like, you know, chatting with each other or whatever. Like maybe it was before the game started or something like that. But anyway, you know, every time there's celebrities, you know, courtside at the game, you know, there's always like a moment in the second quarter or whatever. We cut to them, we see them, right? Jason Sudeikis, he's here again, you know, that kind of thing. What if we mic'd the celebrities?
This
Okay,
is
you
good
know how
stuff.
sometimes we mic the players and then they do that little cut up, right? And we see like little snippets of what they've said throughout the game. We need to do that with the celebrities. I would love to know what Steph Curry is saying while watching the game.
I absolutely love this.
Jason Sudeikis would be so fun.
Also, this reminds me of one of the best things that happened last year, which was the Fat Joe interview during the finals, which was fucking nuts,
I forgot
and it
about
was
that.
so good. So I think this is a great idea. This is like going to generate,
Kathy
lots.
Engelbert, we're here.
Yeah, Engelbert, hit us up.
People would do, celebrities would do it. They want to be seen, they want to be heard. You know, that's why they're courtside. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, they would do it. I think they could get some really fun guests.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Leslie Jones?
It'd be huge. That'd be massive.
Anyway, that's my idea.
I mean, that's a fantastic idea.
Thank you.
Mine is I want to see the only tricky part is like it can't be any of the players from the teams because they're obviously going to be like so locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for instance like like it couldn't be Angel or whatever, but like it could be Cameron Brink or a former WNBA player, like I'm thinking like Bird or whatever. I want to see a player cam, and by that I mean I want a player to like film portions of the game. So I'm not talking about like an interview. I'm talking about like actually filming the game with like a GoPro or whatever, like some very simple, easy to use setup. But I want to hear players like there to be an option where you can like click on WNBA.com and like experience it through like basically all player broadcasts.
So who would have the GoPro?
Like let me just throw a scenario at you. Okay.
Yeah, please.
So you have like Cameron Brink, camera operator. You have
Because she's injured.
because she's injured and the Sparks aren't in the mix, and like you have
Okay.
Sue Bird calling the game,
Mm-hmm.
and you have Sylvia Fowles like sort of like color commentary, and they're working together, and sort of like filming portions of the game and like.
But wait, but them doing color commentary, like, isn't that just like a whole new broadcast?
It is a whole new broadcast, but I would want to see like basically they don't do the entire game. They do like sort of small segments of the game. So you pick like you know how they'll get like the player interview in like an all-star game like and they're wearing the mic and they're like sort of talking it through. I want to see like a player perspective on a portion of the game.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, and obviously
It'll never happen, but I
it'll
like
never
it.
happen. But during the NBA in-season tournament, they had a thing where I was like, this is really cool and it's better than I thought it was going to be. And they had NBA veterans, and then also Kevin Durant popped in on one of them. It was like for anyone that's an NBA fan, it was like Quentin Richardson and like two or three players, and then Kevin Durant, and they were talking about the game as it was happening. So it was just an option for the broadcast. And I will say they drifted and they talked about a lot of other stuff, which is it's fun, but then also it can be tiring. So that's why I would want to like limit this to like a couple minutes.
Okay, interesting idea. Because when you said GoPro, what I pictured was an active player with some sort of a camera situation on them.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll back down on the GoPro because that does seem chaotic. And
Yeah, that's what I pictured. So it's like if we're watching a different broadcast, why would we have a GoPro? Because then it's like we're only seeing the game from one angle.
Yeah, GoPro's nuts. That Engelbert, if you're still listening, not every idea is a winner. And
No, stop.
you can toss the
We
GoPro
talk
part
it
of
out.
it.
We talk it out. We talk
Yeah.
it out. We talk it out. All our ideas are winners.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so the GoPro part, well, I mean, but like I feel like a version of this has happened because like Sue Bird and Tarasi were doing a thing. I think it was during the NCAA Final 4.
Mm-hmm.
And like we didn't have access to it in Canada and I was really pissed because I really wanted to see it. But I feel like versions of this have happened. But it is
Yes.
like you said, it's the whole game and it's not like condensed. But I feel like that they could do because they could record it the whole game and then just give you a condensed version and put it out on YouTube like they do with like highlights.
Yeah. Like so what we're talking about is like I think it's like Goat Chat, or I guess that's their podcast. But yeah, I feel like it's like they could set it up in a way where it's sort of they like fans, it's easier for fans to follow along. Like for instance, I could say like for the third quarter, feel free to tune into like the player cast. So it's not the whole game. So it's just like them, kind of like a different perspective on things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. I feel like I would want to watch it after the fact, condensed. I don't want to lose the original broadcast because I feel like they keep it focused.
It's true. And shout out because they're the pros. They're actually good at it. And when you see someone do something that isn't their thing, sometimes you realize how hard it is.
Like, well, God forbid they give that walk and talk job to someone other than Holly Rowe.
Oh, if that was me,
Brutal.
torn Achilles. First interview. You know what I mean? Hey, Jackie Young, you had a really hot first half. Oh my God! Ow! 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 Holy shit!
She just leaves you there.
Who put that wire there?
She's like, listen, it's halftime. I gotta go to the locker room, man. It's halftime.
It's just me like, help! Help!
They check your credentials before they help you. They're like, who is this guy?
Therapeutic clown? What the I spring back up. Da da da.
Oh my god! But the Achilles is still torn.
Yeah, it's still torn. But my trick is that I'm like, oh. They're like, wait, do you need medical help or not? I'm like, yes, I do. But I would have to
Oh god, that's so
still get on
stupid.
a plane and go back to Canada for my healthcare.
For all the yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You might have to spend a bit of money just on drugs, just on pain medication to get you back home.
Yeah. Let me pop into a CVS first. You know?
Yeah. Couple shots of vodka or something.
Mhm.
All right, let's let's wrap it up
Yeah.
there. Thank you everyone for listening and tuning in. I last week our YouTube episode didn't happen. We had some technical issues, but this will go up and I might be able to put up last week's as well if you want to catch up on that. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, Freddie. We should do our handles. What do you think?
Yeah. At Freddie Rivas. Follow me. FREDDIERIVAS. Me and Catherine love talking ball. Follow us on our RW socials too. At the Pickup Pod. Catherine, you want to give yourself a plug or what?
Sure. You can follow me at it's me _ Cathryn, spelled CATHRYN. Thank you all again, and we'll catch you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Peace, everybody.